Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's your ePastor Erin here with Sunday's recap of the wonderful message given to us by our very own Dr. Takoy Porter Sr., where he encourages us to still trust God. So we're reading out of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verses 1 through 8, where we find David, yes, a man after God's own heart. He and his army, they were fighting a battle. I mean, a good battle. They won, they conquered, and they were very victorious. Just so excited to be winners. And then when they got home, everything was gone. I mean, totally destroyed, burned, ruined, looted. The people that were left that were outside of the army, they had been killed, and the rest of them taken captive. But even though David's family was also taken captive, the people, his own people, they began to turn against him. Have you ever had a time in your life when you experienced something extremely good and then it went extremely bad, but then got worse? Take this year, for example. January 1st, 2020, I'm sure we were all like, ooh, 2020, ooh, gonna get me some money, ooh. And then COVID hit. I mean, there was quarantining, sheltering in place, no hugs, social distancing. All of these things happened at once. I mean, on a more serious note, some of us really suffered some serious loss since March. Folks were just getting sick and dying. Millions lost their jobs, and our kids, they basically were kicked out of their own lives. We even witnessed worldwide video footage of murders, racial and social injustices, protests, riots. Shall I go on? No, I can't go on. Only because people, we're still experiencing the saga. It continues. Back to the word. So in verses 6, 7, and 8, this right here is a distinction between good versus great. You see, with all the mayhem, David encouraged himself in the Lord. He drew his strength from the source of all power. He knew that something had to be done. Somebody somewhere had to stand up and had to be thinking clearly enough to hear the Lord. We cannot get overwhelmed in the process of being better. Every setback is just a setup for what God has put up just for you. Okay, so in verses 7 and 8, David's telling the priest, take me to the Lord. Take me to the King. He needed to get away from the negative environment and just get in a place where he can truly hear from God. So David gets to the altar and he simply asks, shall I pursue? And not only does God tell him to pursue, but he tells him, you will certainly overtake them and succeed. God gave David confirmation to continue doing exactly what he was already doing, pursuing. But he wasn't pursuing the army, was he? No, you see, through the ruckus, through all of what the naysayers were saying, David pursued God. That's all he needed. He knew that we can and we will overcome all obstacles and challenges that are put in our way. Because remember, with God, all things are possible. So, how do we work the word this Wednesday? Well, for starters, if you aren't doing it already, begin to encourage yourself in the Lord. But Erin, how do we do that? Through reading and relationship. We can start to see ourselves just as God sees us. And in that value, there's no man, no virus, and no devices from the enemy that can discourage us. 2, better is a process. So watch how you talk to yourself. Let's stop being downers and begin to hold our heads high. You know, like children of a true king. Am I in the camera? Put your crown. I'm just practicing adjusting it. Come on, together. King's kid. So choose life. Speak life. And no matter the circumstances, even the really, really tough ones, make a decision to still trust in the Lord as you pursue. God bless, and I'll see you next Wednesday.